Welcome to the Kyokushin Shuffle, episode 8. I have a guest from Queensland, from Cairns, Queensland, everyone. I'd love for you all to welcome Sensei Jason Crimmin from Queensland, Cairns. Sensei, how are you? How are you going?
Well, Sensei, very well. Thank you for having me on.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time. And again, I guess we just had a brief chat then, and lots has happened. And I look forward to you sharing how your busy time has been just of recent. But we got a nice little hour here to catch up, have a chat, and let a lot of people know who you are, what's going on. You and I have known each other for a while through the traps and via our Shihans, but would love to, I guess, start your journey with a bit of an introduction, like I do mostly with everyone. Is how did Kyokushin grasp you, or what was the martial arts style that caught you? And let's walk our way through it. Let's see how we go.
Yeah, I started many years ago as a grade 8, and a friend of mine, we were going out one night in town, young boys, young bucks, and Craig and myself were just travelling around, and at that time, testing ourselves with some other locals, and ran into a guy called Owen Green. Didn't know anything about this gentleman. And, myself and Craig and I were a bit cocky, and we ended up having a bit of a blue out in Mackay there one night, and we got laid out. Both of us with one goal. Mate, I've never seen someone hit so fast and so hard, and really opened my eyes up to, wow. So we actually went back with bruised and battered a week later and saw the same guy, and we come up and said, hey, boss, how you going? And he said, g'day. And we're not here to pick fights, and just want to find out, what do you do? And he mentioned Kyokushin. So that's my introduction to Kyokushin. The hard way, I guess, and point me in the right direction rather than go out in the street and pick the fights. I was focused my energy into a class and went along to
how old were you then? How old were you? Were you a little grub? Were you a pest?
Yeah, I was young and a bit trouble, 14, grade 8, grade 9, a bit of a cocky young boys, hanging around the wrong crowd, and went to a class and again started training there and picked the wrong guy in the first class. This happened to be another guy who's one of the best fighters in Australia, Michael Young.
Oh, geez, yeah, he's a legend. Righto, look at that. Yeah, Mick Young.
I remember doing the class, thinking, this is not too bad. And I gave him a front kick, just learned this new kick, gave him a front kick. And before I knew it, I had 2 body shots in the ribs. Pulling my eyes out. And at that time, Shihan Trevor Field picked me up and said, come on, mate, we'll go outside and have a chat. So he said, welcome to Kyokushin.
Oh, wow. And there you have it too, a nice little segue towards one of the top masters in Kyokushin, Shihan Trevor Field, who coincidentally was my Shihan's Australian coach back in the day. How I guess, in jumping a bit quickly on that merit, but the influence was straight into with Shihan Trevor Field, or was there another sensei that you were going through, especially with Mick Young being around the traps as well? How was that, going for you at such a young age? How did you adapt to these men?
Yeah, big call, because the class I had was a massive class, and at that time Shihan had his own dojo he actually purchased, and you got the likes of now Shihan Aaron Field is in there as a young fighter but very stocky. Owen Green, and then you got Sensei Brett Whitestyles, ex-Australian champion, Australasian fighting, all overseas. Then you got Michael Young, and all these big names. I had no idea who they were.
Sure.
And all the members, and Sensei Brad Madam was in the class.
You
got these guys that you just don't know who they are, and you're picking the wrong guys, and being young and cocky, I picked the wrong guy, the wrong time, the wrong night. So,
you fell in the good problem situation. You definitely were in one hell of a stable of pedigree there of Kyokushin practitioners, no doubt about that, huh?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, great dojo, very strong, good spirit. So.
And how did you go straight into it? Like, as in, were you 2-3 times a week training? Were you hooked? Were you addicted? Like, were you so, enthralled with it? What was it that started to, that made you go, shit, yeah, there's bash and crash, but there's other things to this?
Yeah, I had, obviously back in the day, me growing up, Karate Kid was around, saw the movies, and I thought, I had a bit of a passion for karate. my mates were doing different styles of karate at the time, and they were showing me stuff in my backyard. And then after that, Adam and myself and Craig going out picking Owen Green. And Owen Green, a big man, big knuckles, hard hitter. Back in the day, you fight guys like Stephen Takawa as a group, like I guess I started off very light, 2 to 3 days a week, just to get the body started with it, and introduced up to 4 to 5 because they had a full-time dojo. So their classes were running every day.
Yeah.
So, and just fell in love with it, like everyone does. Just, the bit of a challenge, the fitness, the body conditioning, the whole lot. So.
And from your, I guess, again, from coming out of that stable, you were a hell of a fighter as well. Can you share with us, and this isn't that, this is an opportunity for a lot of people to understand your experience, and you and I have spoken in the past about, sharing more knowledge out there to others. You've gone through these lads and they've helped you. You would have gone through, I'm assuming, one hell of a tough showdown grading as well, hey?
Oh yeah, I remember that clear as day. So I actually went from being in Mackay, went to Brisbane for work reasons, just decided to up and change, lived in Mackay, and great dojo. So from moving from Mackay, I actually ended up training with Gary O'Neill.
Okay.
Did my showdown grading with Sensei Gary O'Neill. And then went down to Melbourne Young Lions Dojo as an Ishidashi for a brief stint. And then ended up coming back to Brisbane again for work reasons again. And
who was teaching you at Young Lions? Because that's something that has popped up as well. Can you give everyone a bit of an experience
at
there?
the time, Sensei Gary O'Neill was there, but he just had his knee operation, cleared out his knee. I think Jason Coma was there.
Yep.
And there was 2 female Ishidashis, and there was 2 gentlemen, Swedish guys from Sweden. One of them actually ended up hurting his knee quite bad and had to go back.
Yeah, right.
And there's Sensei Ralph Bird obviously ran the place. So
yep.
Yeah, great experience. Loved it. I was there when they had the grand opening, so Kancho Matsui come over. I ended up moving back to Mackay after being back in Brisbane, and spoke to Shihan Trevor.
Yeah.
We had a good chat about progressing forward after fighting in Australia for so long, and in Australasia. He said, let's have a crack at Japan, and that's one of my dreams was to compete in all Japan world titles. And yeah, definitely the training changed. As soon as you get, as you would know yourself, and getting ready for Japan, you have to really up your training. So, and that, never look back.
But so you went to Melbourne. You trained with one of the highest profile Kyokushin fighters ever, Sensei Gary O'Neill. What an experience that would have been. And then you've headed back. You went back to Queensland, back to Mackay. Is that right?
Yes, yeah. I went back to Shihan Trevor.
Yeah. I
felt that it was a time to progress Kyokushin further with his knowledge and his expertise and experience, and really take understanding of what it is after being a Shodan, because as you know, a lot of people get to the Shodan and they quit.
Yeah, right.
So what else is there? So that's why I went back into my advanced Maya Kyokushin.
And so, yeah, so that was, 2000 and 2004, 5, 6, around that time. Is that about right?
Yeah.
And then you would have, and then you would have, did you compete? You would have started to compete heavily, or just starting to compete in that open category, because you're more of a lightweight fighter, correct?
Yeah. So back in the time, so when I was a brown belt as a first Q, I was training with Gary, and also ended up doing me a training with Sensei Eric Gunton at the time, and I was going in tournaments every month. So in 12 months, I did 12 tournaments. I won 11.
Wow.
12. Just in preparation for my physical being, for my Shodan, getting ready for it. After that, I continued my training. So it was Australasian titles, ring karate championships with Shihan, John Taylor in Sydney, and fighting high-profile fighters from they brought in for those special events, and just to gain more experience, try and expand Kyrgyzstan for Australia.
So you're hooked now. You're in. You've trained with some heavyweights. You've come from a hell of a stable, and now it becomes bigger, doesn't it? It becomes more of it's now the saying, as they say, this is now your life, pretty much, huh?
Yeah, it's one of those things that you can't let it go. It's every day you think about it. How can I improve it? What can I do for the dojo? What can I do for my students? How can I progress them? And I've had some, for example, one of my first dojos in Brisbane I had 12 years ago. For that period, I had a student. I had 43 students on the floor. And I said, look to your left, look to your right, because you won't be here in 3 months. And out of those 43, 6 stuck. And out of those 6, 1 became a knee down.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So, yeah, it is a high dropout rate, but I tell you what, it's one of those things you never want to take it for granted, because it's like boiling water. When you're good, but when you're not, you're not. So you gotta train daily. That's the secret. There's no secret to it. It's just sweat. We all know that. So
and it's a good segue towards you've started to be the best, and if not one of the best lightweight fighters in Australia. And then the challenge next is overseas, which is the awesome bit where you and I were a part of some cool trips. But give us your fun experience there, and hard experience, I guess, in readiness for fighting the top fighters in the world, because that's one hell of a journey there as well.
Yeah, like having Shihan Trevor as my mentor and my coach, and Shihan, and him being an Australian coach for 15 years, and his training is tough.
Yeah,
really tough. It's not is it physically, it's mentally draining, but also he's a sort of person who built you up from where you are now to where you can be, and it's that belief in yourself. Going over Shihan Trevor to Japan, he said, your first trip is going to be like a whirlwind experience for you, and it was. Fighting in All Japan, 76 fighters, making the top 8, and then coming out with the Kyokushin shuffle at the end there. The big old man. It's an experience, trying to go to the toilet for the first time with their bruised legs, but just the culture, just seeing the culture, meeting people, and meeting new people, and creating friendships for life. Really,
what group? Because we were part of the All Japan Union. Did you fight under that banner in your first one?
Of course, yeah. So we've been with Shihan Trevor's been with them the whole time. I've been with Shihan Trevor, so we're still with them.
Yeah.
And in total, I think 13 All Japans and 2 world titles.
Yeah, you did 13. Of
course, yeah.
Yeah, wow. I think it was one side of when we started, going to Japan, and I remember when I went 2004 and 5 in my first one, but we kind of stopped off in I think it was Cairns. We stopped off in Cairns, and then I saw all you guys there and Shihan Trevor, and I was like, oh yeah, this is only like 4 hours for them, isn't it? It was total Melbourne mentality, total naiveness, and going, oh, of course. Oh, how cool would that be? Like, it doesn't seem that far away, but you're, like I just gestured then, I'm down the south of Australia here in Melbourne, and you're at the top of Cairns, right up the top of Australia. Well, and more so with, Mackay and that, and the lads that, travel out of Queensland. It's either out of the Gold Coast now or Cairns as such. But yeah, it's not that far away, is it? No. So from Brisbane's obviously from here to Brisbane is about. I just did the trip actually last weekend. I drove there 20 hours. Wow. Driving. So from Mackay to Cairns, it's another 8 or 9 hours. Then from Cairns to Japan, it's an 8-hour flight. 8-hour flight. Yeah, so it's not far at all. No, that's nothing. That's nothing. From Melbourne to Adelaide, where my wife's family is from, is a 10-hour drive. Oh wow! And we do that 2-3 times a year, thinking it's just So that's fascinating to just go get on a plane and head off. And again, well done, and all congratulations to you with 13 All Japan tournaments and 2 world tournaments. And I guess every time that I got to fight in Japan, it was always right. That's it. We're coming back. We're coming strong. We're going to get them. Whoever it is, whoever we may have lost to, and I guess one that I can share, and I'd love you to share what moment you had. But I was fortunate to fight Sensei Jonathan Tennell I got to fight him in the second round of 2008. 2009 in Osaka, and the year before, Sensei Tanel had done an axe kick on Senpai Jason Parkinson, one of Australia's most respected
Yeah,
heavyweight
I was
fighters.
there.
Yeah.
I was there. I was
Now,
there.
now, I'm 26 or 7 at the time, and I see our top heavyweight get axe kicked in the head, and in the quarter, top 16, I think. A hell of a
Yeah.
fight. And then I come in next tournament in the opens, and second round, look at the draw, shit, Sensei Jonathan Tanel. And it was unreal for me. It was he and I are still very, very close friends to this day, because I speak Spanish as well, and he's going to be a future guest for everyone out there listening. I'll translate in Spanish. But what was yours, Sensei? Where did you have your moments of, like, because you made top 8 in one tournament, and I'm sure you made other great positions as well. Where did you go?
Out of those 13, most of my 3/4, I made the top 8, top 16
Unreal.
always.
Wow.
Always. Made it to the final 4. Got beaten by a gentleman called Atari, who's a kata Shihan in Osaka. He's one of his students. And I guess I thought I had him. It must have been close. And yeah, I was fighting him quite well. And then came into the last 30 seconds of the fight. And I remember the fight stopped, and I turned around, and Shihan Wayne Hincham from With Sundays, he was on the sideline. He goes, "You got 30 seconds left." And as I come in, he's come running in and spinning Yashiro Moshigiri. So I put the hand up to block it, and he diverted it from the head to the ribs, and came down with the heel, broke the ribs, and went down on one knee. Like, 30 seconds out. And so I had the fight. I knew in my head I had this fight. I was winning it. And after that, we've been in the final 4. And I was like, man. The funny thing is, the next year I went to Japan. Guess was up on the big board being played over and over and over again. That one kick.
Yours.
I was coming in the lift in Japan, and I was getting picked up by these 2 Japanese gentlemen. And they're looking back at me, and I had Shihan Trevor there, and we're waiting, and they're looking back, and they start talking.
Yeah.
And our translator goes, "Oh, they're talking about you." And I was like, "Oh, hey, yeah, that's nice." And she said, "No, they were laughing about your kick."
How cool is that? Yeah.
Hey, one of those things. It's luck of the draw, and it's all experience.
Oh, for sure. But that's the cool bit, I guess, in chatting with you on this level as well, because, you did those trips, and you fought in Australia, and you won numerous Australian titles from a fighting level. And then I guess that drive and you're raising a family, you're running a dojo, I'm in a similar boat, and we've spoken, as often as we can, but in respect of everyone's time. But, we're all just trying to feed off each other. And that was one reason I wanted to do this. I think there's so many of us that have so much to pass on. And I mean, like yourself, you've just got so much. You've been under one hell of a respected master under Trevor Field. How's the influence, I guess, and can you share with us, and with all due respect to Shihan Trevor Fields, I'm going to potentially get him on via my Shihan, in a couple of months' time. But this is how I've been trying to set it up. They're students talking about these exceptional people, me trying to talk to them later. The floor is yours.
Yeah, no, Shihan Trevor he's like a dad. He's always been there. He's gone through my tough times in life, and he's given me great advice. And if you like your Shihan, he just coaches you in the right direction. He knows how to make you perform, but also keep you focused on life, and also outside of life, outside of the dojo.
Yeah.
It's teaches you morals and ethics, how to stick by it, and that's what Kyokushin's about. It's not about just wearing a black belt. It's about creating good people. And and his spitting example is his son, Shihan Field. Now he's just got his Shihan license and belt. He's a phenomenal fighter, phenomenal heavyweight, but moves like a lightweight. And he's a sort of guy a lot of people underestimate him, but man, he is dynamite to watch. And even when you're sparring him, his speed level is on par with my speed level as a lightweight.
Of course. Yeah, right.
He's 100 kilos.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And again, in being, you know, mentored by, you know, really good people, and I guess that's the saying I have is the torch that you and myself and Sensei Rosie and those types of guys, we've got massive responsibility. I guess, you know,
Yeah.
and you know, I thrive on it. I you know, I love it, and I you know, that's the challenge I you know, love every day, and that's cool that you're doing the same thing as well. So Sensei, you've done your trips to Japan, you've trained over there, you've run your own dojo, you're raising your family, and you know, you get to the point where I was just saying your trade, I guess, and I wanted some people to understand the Queensland, you know, in you is, you know, your profession was painter. What was it? Paint and decorator. So, you know, you're actively on tools. You're outside in extreme weather. You know, extreme meaning 30 plus degrees every day, and then you've got the time and energy to raise a family, you know, support your wife and kids and so forth, and then go and train and run a dojo. How do you? I mean, I know it's as simple as saying, how'd you do it? But, you know, share with us all that are dojo operators or people that want to be that, you know, and how you know, successfully got to this point.
Well, it's not easy, as you know. It's definitely not easy. You got a wife you have to maintain that relationship with. I've got 2 young girls, and having a dojo for 12 years in Brisbane, and also building a dojo and maintaining it. It's 4 days a week. We're training 1, 2, 3, 5 days a week, and then you sacrifice those. So that's part of my life. And when I met my wife at the time, I said, "This is me. This is what I do. I teach, I train, and this is how I live. It keeps me fit." And she understands. She said, "Look, it's part of who you are. It's your passion in life. That's your purpose." And I said, "Yeah, it is. It really is." Love painting, but as we all know, Kyokushin is everyone's passion. For us, it is. So
yeah,
I'm putting that gear on and go down into that dojo, and you smell the sweat, and everyone's lining up and stretching. And like, this is it. This is
nice insight. That's cool. I got some cool questions I wanted to ask you. I want you to share with some. Who is your favorite Kyokushin fighter ever? Let's play with the ever card. First one that popped in your head as soon as I said that.
Yamaki.
Yamaki. Give us the reasoning. Give us some reasonings and share with some. You know,
just undefeated heavyweight.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks where it came from. His dojo, and you got Kenji Yamaki, you got Kazumi coming out of the same dojo, you got Kenji Midori coming out of the same dojo. The guy's a machine. If you really watch some of the old videos of him fighting and his flexibility, his speed, and his power, and because he's quite tall, beautiful technician, great power, just everything's fluid.
And for those that aren't aware of him, top of my head, 95 world champion.
Yes.
Yeah, 95 world champion. So type in the 95th world tournament. And you'll see him at his absolute peak. In 91, he just came off again a solid placing, but Midori Shihan was the man there. Okay, that's cool. Now, do you and now I guess in sharing with us, and I know, but if you can share with us, you've got to 4th Dan, and you were promoted that 3 and a bit 4 years ago. You went for that in Japan.
No, we did our 4th Dan grading here in Queensland.
In Queensland. Yeah.
So 6-hour grading.
Okay.
In the December heat.
Yeah.
In a dojo with no aircon, just fans, and man, it was hot.
Yeah.
Very hot. I don't normally cramp when it comes to training and that kind of stuff. But on the day, I had cramps inside my hips, back of the legs, massive cramping. Pushed through it, but tell you what, it took a lot to get through it.
And that leads me to something here. So that I guess what were some of the, you're in, so I'll break it this way. I was fortunate to fight in one of the tournaments you guys held in 2011 and was victorious. And I put it to the beautiful warmth of Queensland because at the Nationals there, it was a great tournament. I was successful, but my body was just, it didn't drop into a lull, and the temperature of the venue and the atmosphere. And I was like, oh, this is good stuff. This is what my body needs.
Yeah, great tournament. And again, well done on that day, because I was there watching your fight, mate. Great fight, tough.
Oh yeah, that was in 2011. But where I'm heading is your training. How did you train? In sharing just some tactics here for some that are listening. You're in that lightweight category. Give us your weight at that time, but then also some of the exercises, and again the conditions that you were in was hot, humid. Shihan Takuma, who was here with us about a couple of months ago, was explaining his level for cardio, and he was saying that they train in Japan, and you've trained there as well. They just take it to that total end. How do you go about it? Did you go about it?
Yeah. So I was obviously in that to myself. Now I was myself victorious in the lightweight division.
Oh yeah, you were.
Yeah, and our training was at least 5 days a week. We had to make sure we had a good rest and recovery. But we did a lot of road running as a pre-warm-up. Came back, a lot of conditioning on the bags, the heavy bags. We worked on tempo and speed. So we start off nice, and every second we hit the bag with a hard thump just to get the muscle conditions, contracting and moving it, and get tempo on the feet, and getting the feet and hands moving together. And over a period of time, obviously, we planned it for 12 weeks. We did a 4-week power session and endurance and then speed session. So we planned it quite well. Increasing the rounds. We were always doing every Friday night 20 rounds of sparring, hard.
Beautiful.
No pads, just hard, back to back, no break. Always 2-minute rounds. Bang, next round. Just keep that endurance going on that. And a lot of sports conditioning stuff. So we did a lot of hand weights, that kind of stuff, twisting motions, barbell preparation, backhand thrusts, that kind of stuff. A lot of lunges to strengthen the legs. Myself, I actually worked on a lot of inside leg kicks.
You did.
A heavy bag. Purely for the fact a lot of Kyokushin fighters go for the outside, and we all know inside leg kicks are quite damaging if you wear a few.
Yes.
So I was conditioning my shins on the heavy bags, kicking down low, getting my foot underneath the bag, making sure the shin hit it.
Yes.
Hitting speed flat out. And there's no if, buts, or when. It's just everything you hit was hard.
Yes.
We used to do rounds of that, just condition the body. And that's, I guess, on the day, I wanted to see if it worked, and I was cutting through a lot of people's legs on the day.
Sure did.
Yeah.
Yeah, good on you. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing some of that. And I guess that's another thing that we've spoken about. There's your knowledge. There's so much people's knowledge and influence in just grabbing. My Shihan would say, if you could just grab one thing out of anyone that you talk to at any given moment or at any class, you take that one thing and you add it to your bow, and that's pretty cool. Did you have any injuries over your term? And I'm thinking here, 13 consecutive All Japan tournaments, 2 world tournaments. Did you have any injuries, and how'd you go?
I did come out one year from All Japan, and I was getting down to the final 8, and I wore this leg kick. I was doing a reverse punch to the stomach. I thrust out long because a lot of my motion was bouncing motion, in and out fast. I threw this punch, and this Japanese fighter kicked the inside thigh at the same time. I wore it once. I thought, oh, okay. And I threw the same punch twice, and he did the same kick again.
All right.
And the damage it took 2 kicks. That's all it was. And ended up losing the fight. Went to the flags, and it wasn't them. But the next day, my leg was all swollen. I was like, oh, I've got the Kyokushin shuffle on this leg, and it's quite bruised. Yeah. It wasn't until I got on the plane, wasn't going down, the swelling, and I had it strapped up. And I was like, there's something wrong here. It's not right. It just felt different. So I got back to Brisbane and went to the doctor, and he said, oh, mate, you got a hematoma in your leg. I was like, oh, really? He said, yeah. And so he had to go for an ultrasound. He said, it's 18 centimeters long, but 9 centimeters in diameter, full of blood.
Whoa.
That's from 2 kicks.
That's risky business, isn't it?
And it makes you realise, wow, how devastating leg kicks can be. 2 kicks. Also, how dangerous they can be. But yeah, that was probably
Well, I've got to be honest with you there, brother. That's not bad. That's all right. That's
Yeah, that's probably it. That's it. Mostly the bruises that we all get on the chest and the legs, and a couple of bruises, knuckles, and that. But
nah.
nothing.
That's a nice run. But I think I always touch wood when I say this, and I've touched wood for you now. But I was very very lucky on my end. No injuries as well as a competitor, but then everyone's like, yeah, but and there's all these question marks. But no, I took serious care of myself, and prepared properly and made sure that the body was always. We had a saying at our dojo: always be 90% ready. So if something does come up or you need something, it's only going to take 10% to get it to that 100. And I thrived on that. I love that because it did keep the body consistent. And that's something that you would have done very, very well as well, because with it being consistent, yeah, you cop your knocks and niggles, but there's nothing that's too long term, nothing long term as such. Yeah.
No, so that's exactly right. She always say a successful tournament is walking away with no injuries.
Yeah, isn't that freaky too when you're at in Japan and you're just bashing and crashing away, but then you see the top guys just looking like it's they've just gone for a walk in the park.
Yeah. So no, it's definitely.
Yeah, Sensei, you also do another form of training, and I'm segueing towards the fact that you've got your fourth dan in Kyokushin, you've run the dojo, you fight it, but then there's also a part of you that loves learning other things. Can you share with us a bit of this side of it as well?
Yeah, I had obviously we all grow up and we see the Ninja Turtles and we saw those martial arts and you see the people throwing weapons around, and I've always had a passion for weapons, and lucky enough to be in Brisbane, and Hunchi Patrick McCarthy's dojo was there under Sensei Bill Johansson. It was just around the corner from my house, so I didn't know that. So one day I Googled it, went around the corner and asked if I could join the class, and the style's called Yamani Ryu Kabuto, and I fell in love with it. It's an old Japanese form of Kabuto, and it's just unique. The way they throw the bow around, the way they use their twisting motions, quite vibrant, but very explosive. And the way they believe is everything has to work, has to be functional in today's society. So if you were to use these weapons, they had to be picked up anywhere, had to work. So it's a little bit different to most Kabuto styles.
Yeah. Now, so you pick your weapon, or it's a multiple of you're training multiple weapons in that respect. So you got the bow, the sai, for example, and the baton, or are you picking yours and sticking to it?
No. So in the class, you go through each night. You go through different types of weapons. So you might start with the bow, which is their primary focus.
Yeah.
Then you might go to sai, nunchaku, tambo, which is the Japanese short stuff.
Yeah.
Then you've got doubles, and then you've got teko, which is the knuckle dusters.
Yeah, right.
Timbe and rochin, which is the turtle shell and spear. So there's quite a few different styles of weapons, and they haven't. And you have to learn them. And I tell you what,
have you brought some of it across? Have you brought across, meaning into the cross training of you as a teacher, which I'm leading towards now, you as the dojo teacher, in seeing other things, learning other things, and then bringing the Jason Crimmin Kyokushin teacher, and then people coming to you because of your knowledge and expertise in other things. Is that?
Yeah, we do some from weapons and classes, and this shows how they can work. So if you can't do something, you want to grab something, you can grab a stick, you can grab anything and turn it into a weapon. This shows how defense can change suddenly. So we all think self-defense is 1-on-1 or 2-on-1 or 3-on-1 with no weapons. But if they got a weapon, what are you going to do then? I always tell my class that whatever they have, grab something bigger.
Okay.
So that's just, won't agree with everyone, but that's my philosophy. And that's something I've learned from Sensei Johansson. If they grab something big, you grab something bigger.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. And so, and in that angle, you're consistently learning, and you're trying to, enhance your training with that. Now, this is the part that and we're not trying to confuse people, but you're in Brisbane for 12 years, and you're running your dojo out of there, and you've built your own dojo in respect where you were living, but now you've packed up the family and headed up to Cairns, and now again you're transitioning a bit of again your journey up there. How's it all going for you there, and what's your movements from here?
Yeah, in Brisbane, I got to the point where it's time for change. You just wake up one day, and as I said to my wife, I said, "Time for change. We're going to go. We've been here long enough, and I've done my things. We've got good students in the dojo now. We've got Sensei Eric Gunn, who's a fourth dan. We had Senpai Liam Hills, a knee dan. We got Senpai Christina Ramsey. She was Australian champion the day we won ours.
Awesome.
In the female division. So I felt I had done what I set out to achieve, and they're taking over the reins, and now they're holding the flagship in Brisbane, doing a great job. And Cairns doesn't have Kyokushin. So I said, let's do it. Let's move to Cairns. Let's expand the dojos, and let's expand Kyokushin, because that's what it's about, isn't it? Opening more dojos, getting more people to see what it's about and grow the family.
Sensational. How cool is that? And I say that because, that's I'm probably using the word incorrectly, but it's a luxury here we have in Australia, isn't it? And we have that capability, of doing something like that, and with your type of, I guess, leadership qualities as well. It's not it is what it is. Like you just said, it is what it is. We're here, and now you're building Kyokushin to another level at the top north of Australia. For those that keep an eye out for that as well. What have you called it? And my apologies. It was like they can.
So Shihan's group is the Senjo group. He's got his Senjo Cairns. So you've got Senjo Brisbane, Senjo Cairns, Senjo Mackay, Senjo Curry, and you've got Senjo in Canberra. So there's quite a few dojos he has across Australia.
Right.
And then that's his branding, and we're under Shihan Trevor and his guidance, and you just can't fault it. He's got great leaders, great people still training him from the day that he started training. He's still got some of his original students.
Yeah, no, I can't wait to have a chat with him and Shihan Wayne as well, and I look forward to that chat. But so from here, Sensei, how you've put me in a nice position here to ask you, your passion towards the growth, because I have that passion too, and I like to call it in the martial art word, and not just Kyokushin, because yes, that and I use it. I say that's our platform. Kyokushin's our platform, and how lucky are we? The strongest karate. But then there is the martial arts side of it. Is again, like you were gesturing, the mentorship, the I call it on and off the mat, support. How are you seeing the growth? How are you passionate about it, and what do you want to share on that angle?
In Cairns, we're pretty lucky. We have a large Japanese society here.
Yes.
So it's great to tap into that area and say, hey, there's a Japanese martial art, and Kyokushin is quite popular in Japan. I've had a lot of people actually interested already, saying, when are you opening your dojo? So I'm doing a pre-sale right now. January is the 15th is going to be our first official training day.
Cool.
And it's just, there's a lot of opportunity here. There's quite a great feel. Everyone's into outdoor sports. So a lot of do it because it's quite warm up here, as you know, and the sun's 7, 8 o'clock is still out. Everyone's out training, running along the beaches and running along the roads and riding bikes. And, it's just a great community to tap into.
Yeah, that's pretty, that's something that is definitely, that Japanese closeness as well towards, like what we were bringing up before. I mean, when we flew in there as well, 3/4 of the signage at the airport is in Japanese. So, that's well, we wish you all the best there. I'm sure that's going to blossom, and again on the Facebooks and so forth. Keep up what you're doing with that angle. So we get to a point here where you are also got a job, and I like to tap into this side of it as well, because father, husband, and all the above, but then you've got your full-time job, and this is something that we would all love to do this full time. We would all love to, and and do this, 24/7, as they say. But you do have a career, you do have other things that keep you busy. What continues to motivate you? Is there something that motivates you that you can share, or is it something that someone you follow, or is it just the way you are?
I think it's a lot of it is obviously now I'm 43 now, so I've changed careers up here in Cairns also, and going from a painter and decorator to doing another trade again. I'm doing a boat building trade where plate boats, aluminium boats is passion I have outside the dojo is fishing and boats. I've got a 25-foot fiberglass boat now, so we do a lot of fishing and out in the water. And it's just through Kyokushin, they just persevere, be continuous, never stop, and that's what life's about. If you stop, people overtake you. So you just got to keep the grind, keep pushing forward. Some days are easier, some days are harder, but that's part of the journey. We all know that. It's not easy.
No.
As long as you're sweating, you're pushing forward.
No, I think but you've said it. You've said it perfectly, and that's what motivates you. You know, if you stay still, it's. I use the word stagnant. You don't want to be still. If you're too still, you get taken. People get past you and all that, and that's. How can you change what you've been through with your with your Shihan's philosophies, I guess, and Shihan Field's, being such instrumental, teachers to you, and then all of a sudden, you don't instill, or you don't pass that on, or you don't live and breathe it, and that's what I meant earlier with how passionate I am, and I've spoken before, in how we hold the torch of these legends, and we've got to make sure we do, a very good job. What's your feeling there?
Oh, definitely. We all know that we're getting older. Remember my first All Japan, my first training session, and now look at me now. I go, wow, I'm 43, coming up my next grading for a Shihan license and Shihan belt, and big step from being a sensei to Shihan, and a lot of training, and there's a lot of responsibilities in and outside the dojo. So we all know that, and we all know that people pass on, and then I know that my Shihan, he turns 70 next year, and 50 years of Kyokushin training.
Yeah.
So what a milestone that is, like 50 years.
Wow.
That's a massive achievement. So I hope one day that I follow in his footsteps and do the same. So that's just where I'm aiming for, to be one of those gentlemen or those masters in the 80s, still training and still teaching, and hopefully I've passed on enough knowledge to someone along the line that's gone, hey, it's changed their life, and they've taken the same passion I did.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. That's good to hear. What side of teaching do you head down now? I mean, the way of kumite, the way, I know there's no right answer here. Like, of course, you got to focus on your basics and all the above. But where do you think you're your best instructor as such? Where do you see yourself?
Being a new dojo, a lot of this, I'd like to say this kumite because I enjoy the kumite. We're ex-fighters. We never lose that little bit of spark somewhere. But having a new dojo, you find that there's a lot of what, and so you got to go back to the foundations of building those foundations for them, so they can become good fighters or become good people or better self-defense, whatever their goal is. So we all know the fighters in the dojo are a very small percentage, but you just got to keep your mind there. And I think right now where I am with my dojos is building the foundations on basics. And
you're going back to the again, and then but what that does is also, it fine tunes you as well. And I went through that in the last couple of years. I thought I'll run a white belt class. Let's see. And I was lucky. I had 4 or 5 at any given time, and that was just enough. But geez, it makes you fine tune all your kihon again, and the pace of it slows down. You start to appreciate why I call the wise men the Shihans, why the wise men pull you up on the way you can't, and I've used it with some of the other interviews, you can't water it down, so it still still allows you to bring it all back.
Oh yeah, and it makes you realize what Kyokushin is about, like that, standing in front of the room, doing your kihon, getting that spirit up, sweating, pushing through it. And a lot of people say, well, you stay in there and you do basics for ages. What they don't realize, it builds a technique for later on. And that's part of the dojo. That's what you're there for. You're going to push through the hard times of those and all the kicks. Your hips are straining, your muscles are sore, the burning, all that stuff we all go through daily and day in, day out. And it's just, that's what Kyokushin is. It's not easy.
Yeah. Well, I've got a couple more that I want to test you on, and I'm gonna say I want you to give me your best answer when I say, if someone was to say to you, Masoyama, what's the first thing that comes into you when someone says Sosai Masoyama, or when you hear it, even when some people say it? What goes through you?
Legend, the man that changed everything, from karate to what it was to what he brought it out as Kyokushin, changed everything. Leg kicks, everything, the power, the lot. After reading his stories and hearing stories from my Shihan and from your Shihan, you just go, wow. It would have been not long after I just joined, he passed away.
Okay.
Yeah, it would have been a long time. So, yeah, legend.
Do you, and I asked this to some, do you have his books?
Yes. Yeah, so I've been collecting everything. I've been trying to get the old books in Japan. I've actually got encyclopedia of the original old encyclopedia of Kyokushin by Master Shihan, Cameron Quinn's books. I've got a history, and that's what it is. It's not just a training in a dojo. It's also the reading of stuff and learning techniques and that.
That's right. That's right.
Yes. Yeah. It'd be a surprise. I love it. Just lay in bed and have a read, and we put in especially if I get a new book I haven't read before, I can't put it down.
Now, I reckon you're someone like me that, and I share the story when you go to Japan in the early 2000s, and for those listening that went even before my time as well, in 100 Australian dollars would get you a VHS, a videotape of Matsui's and all the legends. And now we've just got it off a drop of a hat. I can now say, hey, Google, bring up, XYZ. Look, it's just done it on my phone now. What some of the things that, I mean, you're saying, and I guess I joke around with Shihan Billy and I go, one thing is the kata side of Kyokushin is a massive part of. We use the saying, of course, watch and reference. I use the word reference to the students and even to ourselves, the kata side. But I'm leading towards kata, but also the things that you can see now that it's just off the drop of a hat. And I use the word, the mystique of Kyokushin, the mystique of karate is, it's not the nicest word, but it's gone. It's gone. You can only see it in the dojo now because you could see it on tape now. You can see it on YouTube and on social media. What's your take on all of that?
Yeah, I think a lot of people spend too much. We call it Shihan YouTube.
Okay, good one.
a lot of people watch Shihan YouTube too much, and they get these great ideas, and where they actually don't understand exactly what they're doing. So the drills we learn in the dojo first is the first part of what we should be doing in the katas.
Right.
Don't understand the kata, you need to go back a step and understand what you're doing first so you can understand the kata. So we go through the kata basics and all the kions and all that kind of stuff. And then we go through the bunkai, which Shihan's very big on, is making sure that we understand what we're doing at that particular time in the kata.
Now, is that part though also, as you as a teacher, are you have the bunkai that you're following via your Shihan? You still,
yes.
And no watering or adding anything else to it. You're just keeping it to that.
Oh, we understand that moves can be moved to anything. Can be shown or used on multiple attacks or defenses. And very open to, hey, that works. That's a great idea. Never thought about that. So very open. We're always open. So Shihan has a big philosophy is Hemingway can throw a hook multiple ways. Yeah. And then he took, this is one way. Then you've got 5 different ways of doing that. Then you get another 5 different variations. Okay. So it branches out. So if you have an open mind, you can understand. But you got to know exactly what it is. you're doing first.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah, 100%. And I think, yeah, we're both at that age as such where we can, I was saying we used to have a look at the Kyokushin book that Shihan would have at his desk, and it was it was go to Pinyan Sono, okay, and do that. And now I've got it saved in a folder on YouTube. I can grab it if we need a reference to it. But I guess I'm going through, and talking openly, I'm going through, we have the All Japan Union, who we were with for a while. Shihan Koi has his way. We had Kyokushin, which was Hanchi Oishi. We've got Zen Kyokushin now, which is Hanchi Hasegawa and Shihan Takuma. Then you've got Matsui. Then you've got Midori. Then you've got, Royama, Matsushima. Now each, all these guys, all these legends and all these guys have got certain syllabus criteria references, and they're all Kyokushin. So, I was just sharing a bit of my thoughts on that side of it as well.
You've got an open mind. You can see what works and what doesn't work, and you have if you can put it into a practical application, great.
Yeah. So from here, Sensei, you've your passion is unquestionable. You've got an exceptional experience in traveling overseas and doing so much and learning so much. Well, you've kind of gestured it now. You're in Cairns and you've got to share the new breed. What is it that continues to keep you going though? What is it now? You're leading towards your fifth. Share with us all those things that help people kind of grasp and understand. I feel in a bit of motivating. I guess we can't all be at your dojo. None can be at mine and Shihan Trevor's, but just grabbing some nuggets is the best way I've got it. The floor is yours, and just sharing a little bit of what you'd like to share with others. If you had an audience of 200, 300, 500, 1,000 people in front of you, what would it be for some out there that motivates you, that keeps inspiring you?
Just following the footsteps of what Shihan's done and other Shihans in Australia have done, and like yourself, just people have got dojos that are successful. Having a successful dojo doesn't mean having hundreds of students.
Right.
It's having your dojo that works well for you and actually fits into your criteria, and you've got great students that are progressing forward. I have my wife who's an orange belt. I have my daughter who's an orange belt. They're just starting, and they'll be commencing their dojo training again. So for me, seeing my family now take on the Kyokushin experience, seeing others join that family and the family growing as friends and in the dojo and outside the dojo, to me, that's everything. Creating good people, sweating on the floor, training hard, passing on the knowledge, going to camps, meeting with other people who had the same mind, and learning from other people.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised how many times the white belts taught me many things.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. That's a great way of ending it. And I appreciate your time, and well said. And deep down, mate, all respect. Congratulations on everything that you've achieved. And I guess this isn't so much a chat on. This is more, a lot of people that may not know you, respectfully. You're up the top of the other side of the planet, and so forth. But respect you a lot. Keep it up. Well done. All the best for Cairns Dojo, and for those that are listening up that way or heading that way for their 2-week holiday. Take the gi, take the belt, get a hold of Sensei Jason, and man, what a teacher to learn off for 1 night, 2 nights, 1 week. And this is something I hope is not our first and only chat, Sensei. We hope to chat to you when you're going for your 5th. But I want to do this. I want to do this forever, to be honest with you. I've got a list of names that I'm trying to respectfully go bit by bit, but I'm not trying to build a cake out of this. I'm just trying to look at the end result and go, wow, look at all these stories and these cool people that I feel haven't been highlighted or profiled.
Oh, yeah, thank you so much, mate. We've had many good times on the mat watching your fight, and you guys afterwards having a chat and training. It's been a good journey, and hey, you're a good friend, and thank you for your time and letting me have the opportunity to actually share my story.
No, Sensei, all the best. Keep up the awesome work. And for everyone out there, thanks for listening on this one. Cairns, Queensland now is where Sensei Jason is, but he's also got his dojos in Brisbane and all fire through Shihan Trevor Fields as well. So one hell of a stable. Well done to everyone that supported you and your family as well, and all the best.
Of course. Thank you very much, man.
Awesome.